Good evening. Good evening. All right, guys. We waited just a couple minutes to give Craig a chance to get on, but he did just text me a minute or text us a minute ago. Told us he just woke up and he's sick, so he's not gonna be able to make it tonight. So we shoot everybody say a prayer that he can get back up on his feet pretty quickly. You know, we're gonna roll on. Tonight is me and the big man Jeff. If y'all noticed, we're doing some renovations to our stream here. Where the logo has been changed. We've added Jeff to our logo, and he looks like the king boss on that thing. I got to give it to him, man. He got it going on there. So, but Jeff, how's your week been, man?
Man, it's been wonderful, wonderful. Back to work tomorrow, but had a couple weeks off here for the Christmas break, and it's been wonderful.
Yeah, I can understand that. Same here. I actually go back Tuesday, uh, which worked out because for those of you that know me, know that my aunt Charlotte Wayne's, my cousin Wayne's mama, she passed away Friday, so tomorrow's her funeral. So it worked out. I was concerned that I was going to have to take a day off, but I don't have to. So um, we're gonna take care of all that tomorrow. And other than that, it's been a pretty good week. I mean, as y'all know, the portal has opened up. I call it chaos. It's the last I saw. I think Jeff, there's 35% of college football players in the portal as of this morning. Jason Priester with the Clemson Insider stated that this was this morning. Now there were 2,900 current football players in the portal, and there's no way to look at that other than just total chaos. Jeff, I mean, what do you think?
I I don't see how it's sustainable over the
Yeah,
long term. You're talking about turning over a third of your roster. Excuse me, a third of your roster in a year's time, and that's just across college football. Um, I, somebody or some group has got to get together and figure out a better system
yeah.
for college football as a whole, or the sport that we know won't be the same sport here in a short period of time.
No, and I mean, I think Dan Lanning was stating that this week he's lost numerous time. No, Signetti. I'm sorry,
Yeah.
Signetti stated he's lost numerous hours of being able to look at game film due to having to deal with the portal right now. And Dan Lanning stated that he's had the same situation. Um, you know, it, we've
Well,
got
those guys at Indiana, they've been on a roll
yeah.
as far as portal commits
Oh
go.
yeah.
So
Oh yeah.
they've taken advantage of it.
Well, and I was about to say you can't really. I mean, I hate to say it, but you got to balance the playoffs out with trying to make sure that you keep what you've had going. You
Yeah.
know, so I can understand their concern. Um, I saw somewhere the other day, and I don't know whether it's completely true or not, but it was reported that the top quarterback this year coming out into the portal, the number one guy that's on every, and I don't even know. I saw the name, but I don't remember who it was. But said he was going to be getting 5+ million for 1 year next year, and that's just not. I don't understand how you can sustain that. Um, you know, y-
But I don't see you look across professional sports, and there's no model that is remotely similar to
mm-mm.
what's happening in college athletics now. So
Yeah, yeah.
how to make that work the way it is now in the long term, I think we're setting ourselves up for some sort of disastrous ending sooner rather than later if some changes aren't made here in the short
Mhm.
term.
I totally agree. I mean, it blows my mind that the lowest paid free agent. All right, let's say one of our players leaves, doesn't get drafted, he signs a free agent contract. I want to say it's between 850 and $900,000.
Yeah.
All right, not guaranteed. Okay, that's if he makes the team. All right. And you've got college football players right now making almost quadruple that.
Yeah.
And once they, that was the other thing somebody was complaining about the other day. Said, we paid them we paid all these players, and then they didn't play in the bowl games. Well, guess what? You've also run into that with the portal itself because I was talking to somebody the other day, and they pointed out, one of my buddies pointed out, said, you do realize that if these players go ahead and say they're going into the portal before December gets here, they don't get their December check. So what they're doing is they're waiting until December gets here, until after the bowl game gets here. All right. And you've already paid them, and it's just, that's why I called it, and the label for tonight's podcast was Total Chaos, or Chaos Begins. Now the good thing for us, from what I'm looking at, or the positive for us, is I see that we seem to have a number of players that are, especially from Penn State, that are visiting. Now, maybe you saw something last year I didn't see. I don't remember hearing of a lot of visits. Do you remember hearing?
No, not to this degree, which,
Yeah.
I mean, the number of visits is going to be a byproduct of how active you are in the portal. And of course, we've got to be very active this year with the hits we've taken to the roster. So, and there's got to be a bit of a philosophical adjustment with the staff as far as the portal goes. They see the need. I know Tom Allen has spoken several times about being more active in the portal, going out and getting players, and he's certainly following up with that on the defensive side. I think a good chunk of our visitors are defensive players. So he's walking the walk with what he said earlier about that.
He definitely is, man. I'm looking forward to seeing, what the revamped, and I say revamped, I mean, as we both know, might as well say you're rebuilding. But here's the key. This past year, he did what he did with the players I guess, the players that were in the cupboard.
Yeah.
Okay. All right. Going forward, he's at the store buying the product that he's going to cook. That is the way I'm saying? That's the way I'm looking at it. So I'm interested to see what he puts on the table, for, let's go ahead and say, Thanksgiving dinner next year. We both want chicken, I know, but hey, but it's going to be interesting to see what he puts on the table for next year's dinners.
Yeah.
With, I guess more so what he's looking for. Hey, so what do you take from, because we talked about it off air. Seems like there are a lot more Penn State players that are visiting also. What do you think?
Well, they've had certainly the turnover there with new coaching staff coming in. Those guys are already familiar with Tom Allen, so where there's an opportunity, I don't fault Allen at all for going out and looking for talent. 2 years ago, not this past season, but the season before, that was an excellent defense that he had there.
Yep.
So if he's already got some guys that are familiar with his system, that would make the transition a little bit less of a hurdle than bringing guys in that aren't familiar with his system. So I don't have any qualms with that. I want to see Clemson get the best players that they can to put the best product on the field that they can. If they come from Penn State, great.
Yeah.
If they come from West Georgia, great. I saw the kid that was visiting from West Georgia. No problem with that. I want them to go shake the bushes, get the best players that they can to put the best product on the field to give us the best chance to win on Saturdays next fall.
And I do believe, because we've heard all this week, or I've had people telling me all this week about how we've got just as much money as every other team out there, and the truth be known, we don't. Okay, my nephew and I were talking about this earlier this evening, and he brought up a good point. And we don't have Portnoy, and I may be saying his name wrong, at Michigan. Okay, yeah. We don't have. And see, I didn't know this until this past week. Guess who one of the big donors is at Indiana? One of their alum.
I don't know.
Mark Cuban.
Okay.
And he has put a good bit of money, from my understanding, into their NIL. We don't have those. We don't have a doctor, a doctorate school. I guess I'm saying that right. Our school of medicine, like other places do. We don't have the funds coming in that others do. I mean, and that's what people don't look at. They don't think about. They don't realize. I've heard so many times this week. He's got to go. He's got to go more than Walmart shopping. Talking about Dabo, and I'm like, you got to buy. You got to use what funds you got. You can't live a champagne lifestyle on a water budget. It just doesn't really work too good in the long run.
Well, Freddie, you saw it in Major League Baseball. You got to play a little money ball with the portal, and it can be done. You go out, you look for some of those guys that are not at a premium money wise, but they have a talent. They're a good fit for the program. They're a good fit schematically with what Allen and Chad Morris want to do, and you go and you pluck and you play and you pull those guys in. You can be very successful.
Oh yeah, and I mean, Jason brought that up on his podcast the other night, and I was really interested in that. All right, he was talking at that time about whether they went out and got a quarterback or not. And I know that's up in the air now. That your reports that they're not going to, but I like what he was saying. He said, you don't expect Clemson to go after, the kid that left and where he leave North Texas and signed with Oklahoma State, I think it was.
Yeah.
You're not going to go after that top level, the one that's going to draw $4 or $5 million. Okay. You want to look at that next level down. And I'm going to tell you, I mean, a good example of that, in my opinion, because I don't have a clue what either one of these guys made, but look at Chambliss at Ole Miss. He was brought in to be a backup. Okay. That was the whole plan there. All right. And then Cignetti brought in Mendoza. I have all ideas that those two kids didn't get top dollar. I just, not. And so I do believe that the players are out there. It really bothers me whenever some of our fans are going to nitpick. Oh, well, they got him, but nobody wanted him. Well, I mean, I don't know about that. I'm not going to say they didn't. I can tell you this much. I think Dabo did really good with getting, help and Smith and Alexander last year. And I don't think he broke the bank doing it.
No, Will Held, I heard reports. I know Texas A&M probably offered a little bit more than what we did, but you use those other advantages, those other intangibles.
Yeah,
might not be the biggest check, but if we can use other things to entice players, I see no issue, no problem with that.
Yeah, I don't either. And you brought up a minute ago, you brought up letting Tom Allen and Chad Morris bring in who they want, or who they're trying to get, which leads us to the big time topic of the end of this week and going into this coming week, and that is, from all accounts, the BOT will vote tomorrow morning on a package to sign Chad Morris to a multi-year deal. we're gonna do something tonight that you and I talked about debates and stuff like that earlier, and let's have a little bit of fun with it. I'm gonna let you take. I'm gonna let you take. I'll give you. I'm gonna take the side of what's being heard or what I'm hearing negatively. Okay. And you and I both, I mean, I'm a positive person. You
Oh
are
yeah.
a pretty positive person, but, and we're going to let's throw it back and forth. Okay.
All right.
Um, and let's see how it goes.
All right.
All right. I'll let you go first. I'm gonna give you first swing.
Well, this is it's a great move. Familiarity is one thing. Chad Morris was at Clemson for 3-4 years, 2011 to 14. Uh, he was a proven offensive coordinator after his time at Clemson. There ain't any doubt about it. You look at the records that Taj Boyd set while he was at Clemson. Numerous school, individual, ACC records offensively. I mean that speaks for itself. So he has a track record of success as an offensive coordinator at Clemson, and then you add to it that he's gone out and added head coaching to his resume. His resume has done nothing but get better since he left Clemson, as far as that part goes. So I think it's a good hire, and it's Dabo going back to his instincts. He said earlier that he was going to go back to his instincts, and he certainly did. And nobody can argue with the success that we had while Chad Morris was here, and then certainly the follow up. And a lot of folks say that the Chad Morris hire was, number one, what saved Dabo during that time frame, and then laid the foundation and the groundwork for what we were able to do in that 5-6 year run in the playoffs. So when you look at it in that regard, when you look at it like that, it's a good hire. And the day that he officially becomes the offensive coordinator at Clemson offense has an identity. Yep. Whether you like it or not, I think you can argue what were we the last couple years with Streeter, with Garrett Riley. What was our identity? I don't know that anybody could really point to anything other than throwing a screen pass on 3rd and 8. That was our identity.
Yeah.
But you can't say whether you like it or not. You can't say that Clemson, when Chad Morris signs that contract probably tomorrow, that we will not have an offensive identity.
Okay. All right. And I want to preface this by saying I want to make sure everybody out there knows that's watching this knows that I'm going to support Dabo and whoever he hires as long as I possibly can, until either Dabo makes a change or we see that there's no way that that there's no way he can't make a change. Okay, I want to make sure that's clear. All right, This is all in fun here. All right, but one of the things that I've had pointed out to me, some of the things that have been pointed out to me. All right. Number one, he hasn't held an OC job since 2020. All right. So, has he been keeping up with, how defenses, are handling his offensive scheme that he was running? All right. Number two, he was great here. Okay. Fans felt like he was great here. And the question that's been brought up to me was, why has his offense flopped everywhere else he's been? Whether he was an offensive coordinator or a head coach and was running that same scheme. I don't have an answer for that. All right. he did a great job with Deshaun Watson. He was instrumental in bringing Deshaun Watson to Clemson.
Yeah.
All right. The problem that some have seen is once Deshaun Watson got hurt that season, that Cole Stout wasn't the same quarterback as Deshaun Watson. And even though no one could try to turn him into him or anything like that, you want to play to your quarterback's strengths. And it didn't seem that, or they didn't feel like that was something that was done. And then you had the layover from when he left and Tony Elliott took over, and less than a month later, he's the MVP of the bowl game. Okay. So that was another thing that was thrown at me over the last couple of days. Also the fact that he was great against certain defenses, but he only had one win against South Carolina the whole time he was here. He also was dominated by Florida State's defenses. And I don't think Florida State now is the same as Florida State then by any stretch of the means.
Yeah.
So I don't think that one really the Florida State part factors in there that much. But those are the things that have been thrown at me, and that's where I'm going with this. So I don't know.
Well, I tell you two things with those points. Number one, there were a lot of teams during those years that struggled with the Florida State defenses, and that struggled with the South Carolina defenses.
True.
They're good defenses, and offenses are going to struggle with good defenses. I mean that's pretty well across the board.
Yeah.
The other thing, as far as Cole Stout, I know that during that year, even though he played, I don't think he was 100%. I don't think he was healthy.
You got a good point there.
Did that limit some of the things that could be done? I probably did. I think most folks, if they would go back and remember that part, those 3 weeks, 4 weeks that he had off in between the end of the season and the bowl game, probably helped him become a better version of himself for that bowl game. And I don't have any doubt that Elliott and Scott, they did play a little bit more to his strengths during that time frame. I do see that. One
of the coldest ball games I think I've ever attended. And I've attended some. I was there for the 1,000-year flood, as you know.
Oh yeah,
up there at Clemson. But one of the coldest ones I have ever attended was Wake Forest that year.
Oh, yeah.
And we went up there. My cousin called me up and says, "Hey," I said, "Yeah," he says, "Thursday night, man. You want to ride up there?" I'm like, "Okay." I mean, hey. So we jump in the car, we ride up there, and I mean, little did we know that it was going to be as cold as it was. You know what I'm saying? We knew it was going to be cold, but nowhere near as cold as it was. But we get up there, and that's when we find out DW is not playing. So we're like, okay. And Wake Forest was dominating us for the longest time until, and I've said this numerous times, if it hadn't been for Artavia Scott that year, we don't make it to a bowl game.
Yeah.
But they finally, about middle ways of the game, well, actually in the second half, they figured out that little shuffle pass.
Yeah.
And he'd come around, and Wake Forest had no answer for it, man. They just could not stop him the rest of the game, and we ended up winning that game. But my cousin, he told me, he said, "Fred, I think I'm gonna go sit in the car, man. I'm about to freeze." I said, "Man, if you're going, man, I ain't sitting up there all by myself, man. I'm in the middle of Wake Forest, people, bud." He says, "I tell you what, go down there, and get me the hottest hot chocolate you can get me." I did. He still tells stories to this day about he felt the warmth as it went down because he was suffering from third-degree burns in his esophagus down.
Oh, yeah. Oh, yeah.
But yeah, that, man, look here, that, those are stories you can't get back, memories you can't get back. But, I'm going to be interested to see how much of an impact he can have right off the bat.
Mhm.
Because I, I, I truly don't believe that they're going to get 3 years to turn this around. And I say that in that, if it's a, and how do I want to say it? I'm going to say this year they have a little bit of leeway.
Mhm.
If next year they don't see signs of improvement, then we're in trouble. And
Yeah.
when I say we're in trouble, or they're in trouble, I should say they're in trouble. They're in trouble. I think that Dabo is hitching his horses to this, and that's how it goes down. Paul Blackwell says, "I remember that night. It was so cold. It was, man. And I can tell you, we sat there with some huge Wake Forest donors. They were older people, Jeff, and they were telling us they were telling us, said, look, we have no clue. Because honestly, there were more Clemson fans there that night than there were Wake Forest fans. Okay. And he was telling us, he said that the guys are telling us, man, that we don't understand why they spent all this money in this stadium and we really aren't all that great and we don't really care about base football and going, you're out here in freezing cold weather watching a football game telling me you don't care about football.
Yeah, you obviously do if you're sitting through that.
That's right.
Yeah.
And I'll tell you, we went this year and you'll know the difference in then and this year. This year we go up there and we're sitting there and it's pointed out to me, you smell that? And I'm like, what? You don't smell? Keep in mind now, everybody that knows me knows that back in 2005, I lost my taste and smell. Okay. Not
Yeah.
because of COVID or anything like that. Situation with my job. And
Mhm.
well, I won't go into all the details, but I thank God I survived. But I lost my taste and smell and had some other issues. But I'm sitting there, what are you talking about? He said, that smell it. There was somebody in the stands was smoking marijuana. So we went from talking to old money donors, back that long ago to now people in the stands smoking marijuana out in the open. So hey, but
Hey, those are signs of the time, Freddie.
oh yeah, oh yeah. All right, Paul, I'm gonna ask you a question. All right, you said you love to hire. What do you love about it the most? Chime back in and let us know what you think, man. Give us your opinion. Appreciate you chiming or tuning in tonight too, man. You become our leading fan right now. So um, I
Well,
can tell you, Jeff. I'm asking you what do you like most about the hire?
Freddie, it goes back. Dabo said it's been several weeks now that he was going back to his instincts. Um, One thing you can say, whether you like what he did or didn't like it, um, his instincts have usually been pretty good.
Yeah,
So if for nothing, if for no other reason, um, if his track record of following his instincts plays forward with this hire, we'll be in good shape. We'll be pretty good. And the other thing, I do like the fact that we do have an identity. When I said
yeah,
that, taking that side, I think that's important. We've got something to hang our hat on, which I
mhm,
honestly, last couple of years, really didn't see it. It just seemed disconnected, disjointed. There wasn't good flow. Good, bad, right or wrong. Chad Morris is going to try to run 100 plays a game.
yeah,
He's going to be moving at a breakneck speed, and he's going to have a lot of motion and what they call, I guess, what I've heard him say is eye candy. You go see a
mhm,
lot of that, and hopefully, I remember several years ago he called it the smash mouth spread. Hopefully, we'll get back to some more of that and be able to run the football a little bit better than we have the last
yeah.
couple of years.
Well, and I'm gonna go back to something you said earlier. All right. My number one thing is the number one thing I'm looking forward to is what you said earlier, us having an identity. We will know what we'll know what the Clemson offense is.
Yeah.
Number two, just the same thing you said a minute ago, and that is the hurry up. I can't tell you how many times I've looked at the TV and said, stay with the hurry up. Cade plays better in the hurry up.
Yeah.
Against Kentucky in the Gator Bowl. I mean, you could see it, man. It's really a mind thing in my opinion. I think the less he's got to think, the better off he plays.
Yeah.
And I don't want to say that we need to dumb it down or anything like that, but it just seemed like the faster we played tempo, or the more we played tempo, the better we did. All right, Paul says, I think he knows what fans want. I can see that. I do. I believe that too.
Paul, you can say what you want about the hire, but I think it will be interesting. I think it will be exciting. It will not be boring. And I do think the fans will like that aspect of it.
Yeah. Yeah. Well, and I mean, that's the whole thing. I mean, we've been saying for a while that your defense and your offense have to complement each other. So I have all ideas that that this hire wasn't just about Dabo going out and going, this is who I want and this is who I'm hiring. I believe that that Tom Allen, and he had a conversation, and Tom Allen said, look, I can make that work. If he's going to run 100 plays a game, that means I got to get it 100 plays a game. I got to get our defense off the field. And so, we can do that. That's just my opinion on it. I feel like, he definitely, they're definitely going to complement each other, which is a good thing. Something that we haven't seen a lot of recent years. So, we will let's switch gears a little bit. I know you're not going to believe this when I say this. Or most people wouldn't believe when I say this. Clemson right now is at the top of the leaderboard in men's basketball. We're only 2 games in, okay? I get it. Yeah. But I will say this. They looked impressive yesterday, in my opinion.
Yeah.
From start to finish. Yeah, Pitt made a run and came back, but I never felt as though we didn't have control of that ball game. Kind of like the Syracuse game. It felt good to, and it also felt good to know that, Dylan Hunter had, I'd have to look at it real quick to see exactly how many points he had, but he did not have the game, that everybody expects from him. And, we had other players that stepped up and were able to, to take that spot, which is something that, has been concerning over the last couple of years as well. What happens if, this player can't get it done? Let's see.
Freddie, I want to say you ended up with 5 points or so. It wasn't a whole lot.
I'm thinking that too.
And those came with several free throws. The game when they were in foul mode.
That's right. You're right. All right. Let's see. All right. Yeah. Dylan Hunter had 4 points. Yeah. RJ Godfrey had 14 points. Justin Porter, man, that cat, when he's on, he's hard to stop. He had 21 points.
He was good yesterday. Isn't that the I heard this stat the other day. Is he not the first 20-point scorer for Clemson this year?
I believe so. I believe you're right.
I think that was they were saying in the Syracuse game that we hadn't had a 20-point score. I knew Ace Buckner had gone for 19 against South Carolina.
That's right.
We'd had a couple close, but not a 20-point score, which is
Ace Buckner only had 2.
Who?
Ace. He only had 2 points yesterday.
Yeah. Okay. I thought he played good defense. He had 2 or 3 steals.
He had 2 steals.
Yeah.
Yep. Davidson had a pretty good game. He had
Yeah.
14 points, 3 rebounds, and 2 assists.
Yeah.
So yeah. And that's it. Look here, man. That's what you want to see. I mean, it really is a team that doesn't rely because all right, the year that we made the run in March, when Dylan's brother was here.
Yeah. Chase.
Yeah, all right. That year, all you heard was this team will go as far as Chase can go.
Yeah.
And I don't know, just it's not something that you want to rely on because, and just like that, I mean, Chase had a bad game that night, and we were out.
Yeah.
So yeah,
But
but
you need something else to go to.
exactly.
But it's good to see Dylan Hunter the last few games and being somebody at the end of games that you could put the ball
Oh
in
yeah,
his hands
yeah.
and he'll either get it to the right person or make the shot or do something to help win the basketball game. And he had done that, but of course Porter kind of took that up yesterday, and he might be the guy that
Yeah.
Clemson plays through for these next ACC games. I
Mhm.
looked at the schedule early on, Freddie, and I saw those first 4 games, 3 on the road, and then the one at home against SMU, and I was thinking, gosh, if we can go 3-1 here, we'd be in good shape. But
Hey,
we maybe 4-0 at the end of that stretch, and
I'm
really,
telling you, man,
really in good shape.
that'd be something to talk about there.
Yeah.
We'll have
I don't
something to
know if
talk
you
about.
did you watch any of the SMU North Carolina game?
That was a pretty good game there, man.
Yeah.
SMU they've got some horses.
They lit it
No
up.
pun
Yes.
intended.
Yeah.
But and I mean, North Carolina's back.
Yeah.
I mean, but when you got that kind of money, you can buy the players. Never mind. I need to hush.
Oh, you can say it. Everybody's
Greg,
behind
look
them.
here. Greg Bruckner brought it out of me last week, man. What are you talking about?
Oh yeah. Oh yeah.
So, and there again, earlier today, the Clemson ladies got a win against Miami to pull their record in ACC. They're back to 500, 2-2.
Yeah.
I'm telling you, Poppy's got it going on over there, man.
Well, he's recruiting. I know he's
That's
got
Yeah.
the good player coming in next year. So
Mhm.
if he keeps doing that, he'll have that program on the upswing here.
Yeah.
Very, very quickly.
Yeah.
That's the thing about basketball, man. You hit on a recruiter too. You can turn your program around very, very quickly.
Yeah, and a lot of people don't remember that's kind of how it happened with PJ Hall. Nobody thought we could get PJ Hall, and I'll be honest with you, I'm glad we got him over. I'm trying to think of what the guy's name was.
Zion Williamson, I know, was around that time.
Yep. Look, I know we didn't. Well, they didn't win any national championships either, but I think we got the better end of the deal out of that whole thing.
It'd have been good to have both of them at least for 1 year.
Yeah, it would have been nice. It really would have. And I'll be honest with you, I had a feeling that we had a shot with him. I don't know that we actually did after looking back on it, but at the time, I felt like we had a shot.
There were a lot of folks that thought we had a really legitimate chance at him.
Yep.
It was nip and tuck.
Yeah. Oh yeah.
Him being a local boy.
Oh yeah. Oh yeah. No doubts. But and let's see, we got going forward. Let's see.
Basketball.
Yeah, you got it up.
Well, I know we got SMU this week and Notre Dame.
Yeah.
Home with SMU and at Notre Dame.
Yeah. Okay. The SMU game should be a really good one. The Notre Dame game, we just got to worry. We got to make sure we don't get their coach mad because all they swing at us.
Hopefully, no 4-point plays at the end of
Oh, look here. I will say this. I think that the ACC set a horrible precedence. All my opinion. Because now it's going to look really bad if Brad Brownell goes off and throws a chair at an umpire, a referee, and they suspend him. I'm just saying.
Well, if he breathes too hard at one, the ACC will probably remember he's
Yeah,
got that tiger paw on now.
I'm telling you, man. I'm telling you.
That doesn't do you any favors with the
No,
ACC.
no. I don't know what we've done to them, man. That's the thing. I mean, it never fails. It seems like, which, like we talked about the other day or last week, the seems like refereeing has gotten a lot worse recently.
I got a theory on that.
Okay.
I think it's a trickle down effect.
Okay.
You think about it with high school officials. You're at a lot of high school football and basketball games, but they're always looking for officials. And you look at those guys that are officiating now. Some of them are old. They're old. And if you don't have a pipeline to feed good officials up, that's where those guys start. They're just not many people going into it anymore.
I never thought I'd see the day that I would go, man, I'd love to see giving him the business something bad on, out here. I think I sent y'all that the other day. If I didn't, I apologize. There's a video on Facebook where the announcers were calling that game, and they had Ron Cherry giving that call, and they were laughing about it. I'm like, look, I will never forget as long as I live him doing that.
That was funny.
He was giving him the business.
Yeah.
But well, y'all, I got 7:47, which means we run over a little bit. But as usual, I get to talking and we get to talking and I think we're having a great time. If anybody has any suggestions, please shoot them our way. Don't hesitate. Let us know. We're gonna be continuing this all throughout basketball and baseball season, and we're gonna come up with some stuff to talk about over the summer. Dealing with Clemson sports, maybe some yesteryear stuff, and things that we enjoyed and things that we're looking forward to. Because we're not going anywhere. So y'all chime in. Make sure to go to the YouTube page and subscribe. We had 50 some viewers last week on last week's show, which I was really thankful for. That was we can't thank those two guys enough for coming on here and spending time with us.
That was fun, man. I enjoyed that.
It was. And again, we pray that Craig gets back up on his feet and feeling better, sooner than later. We miss him. And he and I go back and forth sometimes, but I'm thankful for him just like I am Jeff, and thankful for y'all. Like I said, go hit that like and share button. Subscribe to the page. If y'all have anything that y'all want us to talk about, let us know. Go to the Facebook page and let us know, or y'all can get in touch with us, because I know I'm on Facebook. My telephone number's on there. If nothing else, text me and tell me who you are, and we'll get your ideas in, and we'll try to go forward with it. Paul, we appreciate you again, tuning in, and until next time, y'all, remember, go Tigers.
Go Tigers.